Kia ora, my name is Justine Driver and I am the Deputy Principal at Pakuranga High School in Auckland. In 2012 I graduated with a Masters of Ed Leadership and Management. This presentation will outline part of my thesis and ideas on teaching as inquiry. I believe that children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. It makes sense, doesn't it, that if today's children are tomorrow's future, then giving them the best educational opportunities goes without saying. And therefore, the teaching and learning in our schools needs to be effective in raising outcomes for students and teachers. Simple. However, this is a dilemma faced by educators across the decades because schools are dynamic places and teaching is a complex activity. A solution lies within the teaching as inquiry model, which is promoted in the New Zealand curriculum as an important aspect of effective pedagogy. Pedagogy, simply put, is the art of effective teaching, and in particular those teacher actions that progress student learning. The Ministry promote that inquiry can be thought of in two ways, as a cycle of learning and as a way of being. To adopt teaching as inquiry as a professional way of being requires a change in mindset for teachers of the way that they are to view their professional activity, and this is a much harder shift. If teaching as inquiry is viewed merely as a cycle of learning, this could be interpreted at a surface or procedural level, where teachers may comply with systems and processes within their organisation without really engaging into the impact that their actions have on student outcomes. Whereas, on the other hand, if teachers adopt an inquiry disposition, with teaching as inquiry as a professional way of being, would consider this as being at a deeper or more conceptual level, where improvements in student outcomes, quality teaching practices and organisational learning increases. In my research, I discovered that the context in which teachers work plays a huge role in whether they have adopted inquiry as a way of professional being. I believe teachers may engage in inquiry at a procedural level first, and over time and exposure to effective contextual conditions, they will adopt inquiry more as a professional way of being. Therefore, school leaders need to create the conditions for a culture of inquiry, where professional dialogue prevails and staff are encouraged to collaboratively investigate their current assumptions and practice using a rich variety of formative and summative evidence. Here, the two ways of viewing inquiry are presented, with the procedural cycle of learning on the left to the conceptual deeper way of professional being on the right. The more staff can engage in effective conversations to reflect on the impact of their practice, over time a change in values will occur. You are in the spotlight now. Can you identify whether you've moved from using teaching as inquiry as a cycle of learning, because you have to, towards a daily disposition that has a profound impact on your improved practice and the improved outcomes of others, both students and colleagues? Since completing my thesis, there is now more literature and evidence supporting teaching as inquiry as an effective pedagogy. Teachers can no longer ignore that they need to adopt an inquiry disposition. It is a professional responsibility. Kia ora.